Hello, I'm Nina, and I'd like to welcome you to the Beautifully Included podcast, the space where we explore the imagery of the Enneagram to journey towards wholeness and celebrate the beauty of our humanity. Each week, we'll dive into the treasures of the Enneagram to unlock our unique design and reflect on what it truly means to be made in God's image. Together, we'll discover the profound meaning of being beautifully included. Welcome back to the Beautifully Included podcast. I'm Nina, and today we continue our exploration of the lights of the Hanukkah and Enneagram. Each night we light the Hanukkiah, reflecting on the deeper journey of transformation and healing. Tonight we will light the Shamash, the central candle, representing Jesus as the servant, type 2, the perfect helper. And we'll also light the first candle, representing the reformer. As we light these candles, let's focus on how the central candle, Christ, helps us understand the light that shines within us, leading us towards healing, wholeness, and grace. Before we light the first candles, let's reflect on the Shamash candle itself. The Shamash is the central candle, which we use to light all the others, and it symbolizes service and humility. In the Hanukkah tradition, the Shamash is often considered the helper candle. And in our Enneagram exploration, this candle represents Christ, who is the ultimate servant and the source of all light. As we begin today's lighting ceremony, we light the Shamash candle first. Christ, the Shamash, is the source of all service. Through him, we are called to serve others, not for validation or approval, but from a place of grace. The Shamash serves us by lighting the other candles, and in doing so, Jesus illuminates our hearts and minds, showing us how to walk in true humility and service. And as we light this candle and think about Jesus as the perfect servant, it's important that we look at our servant portion, type 2. And this is associated also with the spirit of counsel. Now, type 2s are motivated by a deep desire to be loved and to help others. They often find joy in taking care of the needs of others and forming emotional connections. However, at times, their service can stem from a need for validation or a fear of being unworthy if they don't give enough. This was not the case with Christ. Christ knew who he was and served from a place of humility, not expecting anything in return. But for type 2s, their journey is about learning to receive love, especially from God the Father. This is what the heart triad has to do with, is that need for community, which associates with this person of the Trinity, of the Father, who for just pure love, for nothing in return, created humanity to enjoy and to participate in, to belong to. So for our type 2s, it's important to receive the love of God without having to earn it by meeting God's needs or God's expectations. It has been satisfied in Christ. There's no longer anything that we need to do to be loved by God. There is no separation. The veil has been torn. We can come boldly before the Father and his throne of grace to help us in our times of need. And in lighting the Shamash candle, we recognize that Christ's perfect love reminds type 2s that they are deeply loved just as they are, without the need to perform for it. When type 2s learn to serve from a place of grace, they become vessels of true love. They're not serving out of a self need, but out of the overflow of Christ's love for them. And this actually allows them and gives them permission to set boundaries and to say no. They do matter. And often 2s, in an attempt to serve others, forget the value that they bring to the table. So with that, Let's light the Shamash candle, reminding us that all expectations have been satisfied by Jesus, my Jewish Messiah, who is the perfect helper and the perfect servant, offering us the spirit of counsel as we go about our days. So, with that, let's light the Shamash candle, reminding us. And with the Shamash candle lit, next we light the first candle in the menorah, which represents type 1, the reformer. Type 1s are driven by a deep internal sense of what is right and what is wrong. They are so committed to improving the world around them, and they are often guided by a strong moral compass. They seek perfection and are passionate about creating order and justice. However, this drive for perfection can sometimes lead to self criticism or frustration when things don't go as planned. It also can lead to a severe judgment of all other people who do not measure up to their high expectations of how things should be. Type 1s believe that they must be perfect in order to earn the love or approval of God or others. But the light of the Shamash, Jesus, illuminates their path, reminding them that God's love does not depend on our perfection. Christ shows type 1s that grace, not perfection, is the key to our healing and wholeness. They are free to serve and act, not out of a need for validation, but because of the freedom found in grace. So, as we light these two candles today, let's just take a moment to reflect on the Enneagram's three centers of intelligence: the heart, the gut, and the head. Type 2s belong to the heart center, which focuses on emotional connection, on relationships, and on that deep need to feel loved and needed. Now, type 1s, on the other hand, belong to the gut center, which is driven by action, by perfection, by making things happen right in the world. Both of these types begin their healing journey from the respective centers: the heart center for type 2, the helper, and the gut center for type 1, the reformer. But as we light these candles, we remember that Christ, the Shamash, represents the spirit. He is the center, the foundation of it all. From Christ, the light shines outward, helping us move towards wholeness and healing. As we move from the heart to the gut, we see how Christ's grace moves through the various centers of our being, bringing balance and alignment. Tomorrow, we'll continue our journey through Hanukkah, exploring Enneagram Type 3, the Achiever. But for today, let's reflect on how we can serve from a place of grace and authenticity, from a place of purity of a heart, not expecting anything else in return. And let's also spend some time reflecting on the ways that we've silently demanded perfection from ourselves and others. And let's ask ourselves, how can the light of the Shamash, Jesus, our Jewish Messiah, guide our actions and relationships today? Thank you so much for joining me today on the Beautifully Included podcast. May the Shamash candle, the light of Christ, guide you as you reflect on your service and your worth. And be sure to subscribe and tune in tomorrow as we continue lighting the Hanukkiah and exploring the next Enneagram types. Until then, remember, you are beautifully included in this process of transformation and healing.